Wellington Jighere is a man of many impressive Scrabble accomplishments. He became the first player from Africa to win the World Championship in 2015, an incredible story I plan to cover in more detail very soon. He's still at the top of his game almost a decade later, winning the North American Championship just last year, as well as a slew of Nigerian events with extremely difficult fields. In one of those events, he made an absolutely astonishing play as part of his all-time highest scoring tournament game. In round 2 of the 2023 President's Cup, Wellington faces veteran Ugandan player Chris Ntege, and he finds himself in an early hole after Chris's entreat for 66 to open. With solid bingo tiles, with the exception of the B and duplicated I's, Wellington can play bye for 16 points here. But placing it on the left side of entreat will allow Chris to score well and block the board with an overlapping move. So he wisely plays the same word on the right side of entreat, setting up a second lane for his S. Chris dumps a W with ow for 23, and Wellington hits a bingo with try darns for 68 to even the score. After a nice overlap of hom for 33 by Chris, Wellington draws some powerful tiles, including the S, Z, and blank. He could play something like burr for 26 here, leaving all of his goodies for next turn. Instead, he wisely chooses to burn his blank and play zebu for 66. This play gives him a whopping 40 extra points, and it also gives him another good spot to follow up with his S if he needs it. Chris answers with sulfite for 73. Not the first time this word has appeared on this channel, and once again it leads to some major fireworks. Wellington draws the second blank, and while he has plays like dashing for 91 available, he's just in time to pounce on the newly opened E, spotting his top scoring triple-triple play of handiest for 167. Even after that massive score, Chris is still very much in this game after his snazzy overlap of 2 for 40, making this 3x3 square of words. Wellington draws the X as part of his post-bingo draw. A normal player here might spot something like axe for 38 using the lucrative X spot, but there's a once-in-a-lifetime play available here, and unsurprisingly, the world champion spots it. Through the F and B already on the board, he plays affixable, placing his X on the double letter score and the entire word spanning 2 double word scores, multiplying the massive face value of this word by 4. Add in the 50-point bonus for playing all of his tiles, and he winds up with 178 points for this word, even more than his triple-triple on the previous turn. I have never seen a 2-turn sequence like this, where someone plays a pretty heavy-hitting triple-triple worth over 150 points and follows it up with an even higher scoring play that doesn't even hit a triple. Just to make sure, Chris wisely challenges this word, and when it's confirmed to be valid, Wellington gets 5 more points tacked onto his score, moving up to an incredible 500 points in his first 5 turns of the game. Chris fights on, making a nice overlap of ahi with his J for 45, and Wellington's forced to slow down slightly with melt for 28. Chris answers with ya for 27 in an unusual position, and Wellington remains aggressive, playing spurn for 35, perhaps hoping to catch Chris off guard with the archaic E hook, which he may not know. Chris blocks off the area with oi for 10, and Wellington reverses course and blocks the area completely with queuing for 15. Despite the score, Chris has played solidly in this game, and he makes another elegant move with crone for 30 points. Wellington has the 7-letter bingo of Coroni. It seems to be homeless on this board, but after Chris's play, he notices a tricky spot where it still fits. His N can hook crone to make the plural cronin, and Coroni goes down for 80 more points. Chris challenges the N hook to add another 5 to Wellington's score. Chris then dumps a V with Vril for 14, and Wellington makes his top move of Eved for 29, earning another 5 points after a third challenge from Chris. Chris plays Rudy for 32, and Wellington plays a flawless endgame, first landing the massive Cade for 57, and after Chris's top play of Ag for 10, Wellington grabs another 19 points for Peg. When Chris finishes off the game, the final score is a respectable 410 for Chris to an incredible 773 for Wellington. This game had me wondering, is this the highest scoring play in Scrabble history to not use a triple word score? Using the database of tournament games on crosstables.com, we can see some similarly amazing plays. Multi-time North American champion Dave Wean managed to score 142 points like this twice. First, with the 9-letter Gazumpers, and 3 years later, he beat the bejesus out of his opponent with the Z in just the right spot. In this game between top Canadian experts Jeremy Hildebrand and former world champion Joel Wapnick, Jeremy starts with a really nice play. With Isotonic available for 62, he instead spots the safer Isolation for 1 extra point. Joel responds with the stunning Tzadikim for 150 points. Note that had Jeremy played his 8-letter word instead, Joel would have scored nearly 300 points for his word. Then, after Jeremy responds with Braze, Joel T-hooks his word for some extra style points. Lastly, this play by Rachel Knapp appears to have been the highest scoring play of this type on record. After her opponent's play of Thinned, she plays the mind-blowing squared with 6 overlaps for 173 points, getting 90 points for the Q alone. But it seems like Wellington's Affixable did indeed set a new record for highest scoring move not to touch a triple word score. Wellington is a tremendously entertaining player to watch with a flexible playing style that always keeps his opponents guessing and world-class word knowledge and board vision. On July 3rd, you'll have a unique opportunity to watch Wellington compete in a best-of-7 match as part of the Albany 4th of July tournament organized by Let's Play Scrabble. Who's his unlucky opponent, you might ask? You're looking at him. That's right, I will be back in action for my first regional tournament in about a year. First playing this best-of-7 exhibition match against Wellington, but then also playing the 27-game main event against not only Wellington, but also the likes of former world champion Adam Logan, reigning North American champion Josh Sokol, former North American and UK champion Austin Shin, and so many other amazing players. So if you have a few minutes to spare, definitely recommend heading on over to the Let's Play Scrabble YouTube channel and checking it out. I hope I'm not too rusty. I'm going to try to give a good account of myself and we'll see how it goes. I definitely expect to have some great content to dive into. So if you don't want to miss any of that content, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're this close to 40,000 subscribers, which is unbelievable. I really appreciate all of your support. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.